you're listening to this in the morning.
Is it the morning anywhere? I'm sure it's the morning.
This is morning drive.
Is it the morning somewhere? Who's the current prick scientist that everybody loves so much? Like, you know, there's like a darling scientist.
Neil deGrasse Tyson
that dude.
or whatever. The guy who fucking hated gravity.
He hated gravity. That's all I remember about that guy, too. It's time for a new scientist. A new, like,
He's also the meme guy, the whoa, we're dealing with a badass here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's him.
Like that. He got on the Daily Show, and when he sat down, the first thing he told Jon Stewart is that the Earth in their logo rotates the wrong direction. And it embarrassed the shit out of Jon Stewart. Like, immediately called him out. Like, he was just sitting there. I don't think he probably ever watched the show.
This way.
He was just watching. He goes, your Earth is rotating backwards. And Jon Stewart was just mortified.
Have they fixed that?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know.
I think they should just do it, like, top to bottom now. Just really start messing with it. Have an East Pole.
Yeah, he called out Gravity as being inaccurate and shitty and everything else.
Well, I think he said he liked the movie. He just had to point out all of the scientific inaccuracies.
I think he started off with the inaccuracy stuff, then said, "Oh, but I liked the movie." After everybody was saying,
I thought you were talking about like gravity, like the gravity around us in the world. It's like I don't know. He's talking
that scientist
shit about
hates
it.
gravity.
I don't understand.
he's always punching the earth. Stupid gravity, always pulling me back.
It's like he's throwing something in the air.
He's always on trampolines and pogo sticks.
He's always getting hit in the head with apples. He's like, fucking gravity. I was shocked.
It looks awesome.
When I first was setting up my Xbox One at how clear that Kinect video was. Like, you see, it's like, what else does Kinect see? And it sees, like, the infrared and everything.
That scared the crap out of me.
It was like, holy shit, that's really sharp.
And also, well, I was sat down in the middle of my floor trying to set it up, and I was pressing the buttons so it shows what Kinect can see. One's the kind of thermal-looking one that detects, it bases color on how far you are. So, like, stuff at the front is red, stuff at the back is purple, or whatever. I did it infrared, and there were orbs.
What?
There were these orbs floating around me.
Really?
Yeah. Like, floating,
like dust?
Like little lens flares that were just floating around my head, and I was like,
You sure you don't have a tumor?
no, there were two of them just floating around me, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I couldn't figure out whether it was, you know, spirits or some glitch with my thing. It was weird. I immediately switched it back to...
You don't want to see it?
Yeah.
It's better to just be ignorant than to find out what it actually was.
It was at night as well, and, you know, everyone's kind of more scared at night.
Yep.
Right, guys?
Well, do you want to get freaked out? Did you ever hear what JD said when we went over? JD's my oldest son. When we went over to that house, to Jeff and Griffin's house one time when he was like 3, and we went over there and just hung out for a little while, and then later on I said, like a few weeks later, I was like, hey, I'm going back over there. Do you want to go back over to Jeff and Griffin's? He goes, no. I said, what's wrong? Why don't you want to go over there? He goes, because I'm scared of the lady who stands in the hallway, and I don't like the angry man who lives on the ceiling. And I was like, okay. And Griffin was like, fuck me running. She's like, she was scared of that. Like, that JD had seen a guy who lives in the corner of the ceiling and some lady who stands in the hallway and stares at him. Thanks. Some old lady.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So good luck with that. That'd be your 2 orbs, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing if they accidentally invented a poltergeist
ghost
detector.
detecting device.
Yeah.
You scared? Are you really scared of ghosts?
Yeah. Well, they're bullshit.
Have you ever been hurt by a ghost? Do you know anyone who's ever been hurt by a ghost?
No, it's all a load of nonsense. But I've seen a ghost.
Where?
In the same room, like 4 years ago. I went to bed and there was a dude's face in the window looking at me.
You sure that wasn't just a dude?
No, just caught a glimpse of it. It was like...
Yeah, that'd be way better.
It was a dead dude's head. I caught a glimpse.
How do you know he was dead?
Looked minging and haggard.
How?
He looked like he was all wrinkly and pale.
Okay.
So I climbed a ladder into bed. I used to sleep in the loft. Climb up there. Kind of turn around in my bed. I glimpsed him. I was like, what the hell was that? And I'm under the covers. I was like, that was... Ooh.
So, like, this wasn't even on the ground floor. This is a window up.
The top window.
Okay.
So
He does live on the ceiling.
There couldn't have been anyone there because it's too high. Then I was like, I tried to be all manly about it. I was like, well, it's pitch black in here. And the moon was like coming through. I was like, I'm going to look again. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to look again.
Yeah, because that's manly to look again.
Like, you want to just be like, oh.
I'll look a ghost in the face. I don't care.
Yeah. So I was just like,
Through a window?
so I had the covers. I was like, ah! And I saw him again. I was like,
You did not.
yeah, saw it again. Saw him twice.
Why didn't you get
What did
out?
you do?
I went to sleep. And then for the next couple of weeks, I
I
tried
was so scared. I fell asleep.
For the next couple of weeks, I tried to be in bed before the sun went down because it was less scary. And when it already had gone down, I would climb the ladder with my eyes closed and feel my way into bed and then get under the covers and be like, ah.
And that makes
I did
sense
that
in
for
your
about
head
2
that
weeks.
that's going to protect you.
Dude, covers protect you from ghosts, don't they?
I guess as long as you believe it.
It's
right?
like you'd rather be ignorant than find out what it actually was.
Why
Seriously.
do people think that? Like, why do people think that, like,
So stupid.
sheets protect you from ghosts when ghosts are, like, made from sheets? Like, they take sheets and they
They're
put them on-
obviously under the sheet.
No,
Yeah.
ghosts.
They know how to get
Well,
through
it's
that.
two
Ghosts
layers.
are just a bunch of people who are scared of ghosts.
What if sheet ghosts were like people caught ghosts with sheets and ghosts like, ah, fuck. It's like a sea turtle with a plastic ring around its neck and it can't do anything about it.
Except it's not nearly as tragic.
It's all embarrassed. Like it has to go to school like that. They're like, what the fuck happened to you? It's like, I cheated. There's nothing I could do. So can I tell you about this crazy dream I had?
Yeah, please do.
I'm not kidding you when I say that
gonna strap in tight for this one.
I woke up from this dream. I've been telling people I had to talk about this dream. I had a dream that I woke up from and immediately had to like go to my computer and start writing. It was bar none. It might have been like a 5-minute dream, but it seemed like it lasted like 4 hours when I had it. And I have retroactively tried to figure out what made me have this dream. And it was 2 things, I think. It was when the PS4 came out and we'd been traveling New York and I'd been tired. And it was 2 things. It was Michael posted a picture of Lindsay's wedding dress in a bag. And he said, I guess I won't get to see this thing for the next 6 months. I'm not allowed to see it. And because it was still in the garment bag. That's it right there on the screen. So Lindsay brought this home about 2 weeks ago. Only 6 more months until I get to see it. And then that night I was watching Ashley play this game Contrast. In the game Contrast, that was on the PS4. I think it's on the 360 as well. You play a person who lives in 2 worlds. They live in the real world and they can go into the shadow world. So you can make like shadows and then go into the shadow world and then jump up the shadows and access different parts of the map.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. It's a cool game with light and all that stuff. But you can't be seen by people when you're in the shadow world and vice versa. So I had the craziest dream where Lindsay was at a fitting for her wedding gown, and she's like in the 3 mirrors, you know, and she's looking at herself and all this stuff. And Michael walks in while she's doing that, and she freaks out because it's not their wedding day, and he's seeing her in the wedding gown. But then she determines, like, she's trying to talk to him, and he can't hear her, and he can't see her. And she determines that because it's not their wedding day, he literally can't see her in her wedding dress. So she can't be seen. And then she figures out that no unmarried man can see her while she's wearing her wedding dress. So she's basically invisible to a big part of the population. So she's like she starts going to like gym locker rooms and like spying on dudes naked and stuff like that.
Nice.
But then at the same time, we're invaded. And you know how when you're having a dream, how your brain mixes stuff up back and forth, but it doesn't matter?
Yeah.
We were invaded by Poland at the time. But then it was also Russia. You know what I mean? So we're invaded by Poland/Russia. And the U.S. Government determines that most of the army is made of unmarried males. And so they're like, wow, now Lindsay is our best secret agent. And I don't know how she went from locker room perv to secret agent, but it was a really quick leap.
She somehow let the government know about all this.
Oh, somehow. So she's wearing her wedding dress, and she's like going through government training, like as like a ninja, and she's fighting the Polish army. Like she's out there in the battle for like karate chopping people in her wedding dress.
Judo chop.
But then the first thing she goes into, the first battle she goes into, the married soldiers see her, and they're like, "Who's?" And they start shooting at her. This chick in a wedding dress that's out here, and all the unmarried guys, the younger guys, are like, "What's going on?" They're getting karate chopped, and so she barely escapes. And Gus was a scientist in the government, and he's trying to determine a way to make her more powerful. And then he makes a machine, or he's trying to build a machine that will magnetically pull off all the married guys' wedding rings. And if that happens, then they won't be able to see Lindsay, and she'll be able to attack them as well. And you're working on this machine for a long time, and Gavin is like, nah, I got a better plan. And you have like a red beret, like you're like a SS guy, or SAS guy.
I bet I look damn good.
Yeah, and you're like, I got a better plan. And you start parachuting in strippers, and the strippers land in the battlefield, and the married guys, once the strippers start running around, they all start just pulling off their wedding rings and hiding them because they want to appear like they're single to the strippers. And then Lindsay comes in and is like, chop, 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 karate chopping people. And then she gets all the way through karate chopping everybody in the Polish army, gets all the way to the leader of the Polish army, and for whatever reason, he can see her, okay? And she's fighting him, he's beating the hell out of her, and she's like, why isn't this working? What's wrong? Then she finds out that he's secretly gay, and he doesn't like her wedding dress. Like, he's criticizing, like, too much taffeta or too much lace. And it's like, no, it's like kryptonite that she can't, because this guy's in America, and, God, it's so crazy. because gay marriage isn't legal where they are. He's not. The rules don't apply to him, and he can see her in her wedding dress, and she's fighting him, and he's about to die, or she's about to die because he's about to kill her, and he keeps like going. And she's crawling backwards, and then all of a sudden she disappears, and he's like, "What happened?" It's because she crossed the state line to where gay marriage was legal. So now we can't see her, and she karate chops him and wins the whole war for everybody. Then this whole time, Michael has been upset that Lindsay just disappeared one day.
Been with the government this whole time.
And then the war started. And so he's like completely depressed. So he has decided to go through with the wedding anyway. So she's all torn up and she's trying to make it to the church. Like she's all banged up. She's got an eye patch at this point.
So all Michael's family's there and he's getting married to no one.
To nobody, right.
Sad bastard.
And so and now Gus, for some reason, once again, whatever reason, is a scientist and a priest. And he's marrying them or marrying Michael to nobody. And he goes through the vows with Michael.
But wouldn't I know? Anyway, go on.
It doesn't matter. No, the logic doesn't apply. And he's going through the vows with Michael, like, do you take this blank space to be your lawfully and wife? Michael goes, I do. And he's like, boo. Michael's all crying. And then he says to the blank space, and do you take Michael to be your lawfully wedded husband? And you hear Lindsay's voice go, I do, out of nowhere. And then she appears because now they're married. And she appears, and that was the end of the dream. It was the craziest fucking dream I've ever had.
Ambien?
No, I don't take anything like that.
That's totally
an amazing thing.
That's totally an alpha brain dream.
But like nobody wrote that. Your brain wrote that while you were asleep.
It was bored.
The
right?
stuff about the state lines and gay marriage not being legal in one
And the
state,
strippers
she
as a
gets him
tactic.
into another one. Yeah. Well, that's actually something I think you would do.
Yeah, that sounds.
You're a different person when you wake up. You're not the same mind as like 20 seconds after you've woken up.
You're not the same mind.
Well, it's two different. You don't remember the same way.
What does that mean? You mean it's just you lose whatever you're thinking about? Do you think that Gavin, asleep Gavin, thinks about different things than awake Gavin? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like you're not the same person.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not at all. Asleep Gavin is very brave and can fight off ghosts.
Yeah, would Sleep Gavin have hid from the ghost?
Probably not.
No, that maybe Sleep Gavin is more brave. That's why Awake Gavin wanted to summon him. He's like, Awake Gavin was afraid because there was a face in the window. He's like, Asleep Gavin will know what to do.
Sleep Gavin's like, nah, fuck it.
I will say that my dream version of me, way less lazy. Like, because if I need to pee and
The
I'm
sleeping version is less lazy.
wait, no,
The sleeping version of me is less lazy.
I'll tell you why that makes sense. When I need to pee and I don't get up because you're comfy in bed, you don't want to bloody get up and go and pee.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I fall asleep, like in that weird sort of in between dozing off stage, I'll get up and pee over and over again in my dream until I actually go and pee. You know what I mean?
So, who's less lazy? The person who's getting up to pee 1,000 times?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Because I'm asleep and I'm imagining going and peeing. And when I was a kid, that used to cause me to like.
Yeah, so
piss
that's
the
your
bed.
brain trying to fuck with you to make you piss the bed.
Yeah.
When was the last time you pissed the bed? Like, what was the oldest age?
Last time I pissed the
That you pissed
bed,
the bed.
5 maybe.
I can't remember ever pissing the bed.
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah, so I must have been young.
I'm sure it
Really?
happened. Yeah, I don't remember.
And it's not like you wake up and it's like, oh my god, you wake up
pissing.
You wake up pissing, and it's just like, I'm here. I've already ruined the sheets. I'm just going to wait this out. I'm not going to pee on the floor all the way to the toilet. I'm just going to... happening.
I'm at that same level.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you were supposed to pick the right guy to attack.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that hard.
And I was just picking up organ donor boxes and smashing them on the floor.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah, because then it makes him freak out. And
I
then you
didn't
can
do
do the
that.
combo.
I think
makes
every psycho has their weakness, I think.
Yeah. Brandon, wake up.
I have nothing to contribute. I
Well,
haven't
fucking
played this
don't
game.
look like a fucking corpse on the
I
goddamn
feel
couch.
so awkward because I
You
was
can
just
ask
like,
questions. I didn't know anything in the Doctor Who fucking spoiler cast. Did I sit there and sleep? No.
I wasn't sleeping.
You had your eyes closed.
I was just looking
Goddamn
for
piece of
attention,
shit.
and I got it.
Pulling an array there.
So apparently you lied to us, and you know absolutely nothing about Doctor Who. I learned after our spoiler cast.
No, I totally
Yeah.
do.
the
He
internet
took a
is
lot of
mad at
heat.
you.
Lot of heat.
I was trying to be a bit boisterous, so I get the being a dick. That was a mistake.
They said you were feeding wrong information.
I did not see a lot of things that were specifically wrong. I saw some things that were like, Gallifrey is a race, Time Lord is a class, which I don't think makes
It's a
sense
class.
within
it's
the
not a fucking
context.
pen and paper RPG.
Yeah, it's not like because like you're not a human. He's like, no, I'm a Time Lord. That's like saying no, I'm a general. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but that's like being born a plumber.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure his race is time. But everybody was I upset a lot of people, and I feel really bad about that.
Do you really?
I honestly do.
I don't believe
I
you.
thought being like a bit, I don't know, critical or might make it entertaining, but everybody just got really mad because I was being really mean, and I felt bad because I like Doctor Who a lot.
Let me let you in on a little secret. As someone who makes people angry, you can never feel bad about it, and you can never apologize about it, because then you're just a pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in it. You're in the shit. Just fucking keep digging down and putting that shit all over you.
Didn't you call David Tennant a prick or something? What did you say about
Well,
him?
the reasoning is like, everybody loves Tenet so much, and every time I'm like, I like Matt Smith, they're like, no, you're wrong, Tenet this, Tenet that. But
No,
so
those
I
people have
said,
a
fuck
point.
him.
Tennant is the bollocks.
He's very good at what he does.
Oh, that's not what you said in the spoiler cast. Fucking
You can't prove it.
cop out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Love you.
It's time for Drunk Tank, the best podcast on the internet. It's time for Drunk Tank, the best podcast on the internet. Begin descent.